Nigeria hasn't always justified the faith of its people, but there comes a time when you are pushed to the wall and there's nowhere to go but up.
If we just decide in our hearts that we want to believe in Nigeria and we want to take steps every day to make this country a better place.
This is our dream, and a new Nigeria is that dream that we so much seek and desire.
The destiny of Nigeria is in our hands. We are the country. The country is us.
We are Nigeria.
We are that turning point generation. We are Nigeria. We are the future.
We are the future. We are the dream. We are the nation. We are part of this. Yes, we are so amazing. That's the least we shall be. At the heart of the nation, changing history. How can they say that we are finished? We have just begun. When we have nowhere else to run to, we have nowhere else to go. So get out of the way of the land of our dreams. We are the nation, we are part of this. Oh, oh. We are the nation, we are part of this. Whoa, carry the song, carry the sound. The future is here. The future is here. Goodbye yesterday, tomorrow is now for the taking. The future is here. The future is here. I am the future. I am the future. I am the dream. Whoa, I am the nation. I am part of this. Yes, I am so amazing. That's the least I shall be. The least I shall be. At the heart of the nation, changing history. How can they say that we are finished? We have just begun. When we have nowhere else to run. Nowhere else to run. Nowhere else to go. Nowhere else to go. So hey, I am the land of my dreams. Oh, I am the nation. I am part of this. So get out of the way of the land of my dreams. I am the nation, I am part of this. Whoa, carry the song, carry the sound. The future is here. The future is here. Goodbye yesterday, tomorrow is now for the taking. The future is here. The future is here. Raise your hands in the air if you believe the future has come now. The future is here. The future is here. This is our country. The future is here. The future has. The future has come.
The future is not a time zone that is yet to come. The future is everything that we can be but have not yet become. The future is everything that we can do but have not yet done. The future is here. The future is now. So go ahead and deliver the future, because you can, because you must. Together we will.
Hello, welcome to Girl Story Night 2. I'm excited to welcome you. I've been waiting all day for this moment. So if you can hear me and you can see me, please leave me a comment. Tell me where you're joining in from. All our everyone we're interviewing tonight, all the speakers are online already. They've been online since 7 o'clock on the dot. We're not playing tonight, all right? I can see the grammar queen. She's all geared up and ready to explode. Peace out, peace out. I saw Linda a few minutes ago. I think her network is playing tricks on her. All right. So tonight is relaxation night where we just sit down and talk. All right. So let me see your comments. Let me hear where you're joining in from and tell me what your expectations are. I said tonight's combination is lethal. because we're going to be having explosive, we're going to say what's on our heart. We're going to say the things that many girl parents always have in mind to say. Today we are going to say it as it is, however, in the most empowering way. I can see Linda already. She's looking cool. Hello, Linda. We'll be joining you on the live stream soon. Welcome. I like that smile on your face. Ivy Obunde, I can hear and see you. Thank you so much, Ivy. You're a rock star. You're always here right on time. Thank you, Ivy, for joining tonight. So everyone else, whether you're joining in from YouTube or Parenting Champions group on Facebook or Irene Bangwell page on Facebook, I need to hear your voice. Let me know where you're joining. What city of the world are you joining in from? Woo! I'm excited for Girl Story Night. Girl Story Night is uncensored, frank conversation about what it means to raise girls in Africa. All right, we're going to be hearing the most ridiculous things you can imagine. The last story night, a woman said someone told her, even after you born half like this, now your body sweet you. When you come born full one, she asked the woman, said, what? Picking when I born be half? As in, I carry am 9 months and you call am half. Welcome, DS. DS says he's joining in from Kano. How you doing today, DS? Thank you so much for joining in. We're so excited. We're welcoming fathers and mothers, everyone that is joining in to be a part of tonight's conversation. We appreciate you. DS is watching us all the way live from YouTube, and this is amazing. So I have this fan in the background, so if you can't hear me well, please speak up. I'm using the fan to save my life while at this. Make heat, no kill person, you understand? So when it really gets hot in here, I'm going to turn it on. So if you're not hearing me, let me know, all right? Until we move the ministry to permanent side where we can have noiseless AC, you understand? While we are at this, all right? Good evening, everyone. So Ivy says she's joining in from Makurdi in Benue State. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. All right, so we're going to be getting on right away. So to my guest, I have a video I want us to watch, a 2-minute video, and that's what we're going to start with tonight. It's going to be, I like to spring surprises so that the feedback is as authentic as it can get. And the 2 women in the house tonight are, those kind of people they call cobalizers. They're not afraid of anybody. Excuse me. They know they fear anybody. So we're going to be as frank as possible. So I'm going to show a short video. After I do that, we get into the conversation and I bring them into the studio. All right, so stick with me. Very short video. I hope it blesses you.
How we as mothers talk to ourselves is the voice that our daughters begin to imbibe when they look in the mirror.
What are you doing, Mom? Just making myself more beautiful. But you're already beautiful.
We women have been sold this idea that our worth comes from how we look, and we believe how we as mothers talk to ourselves is the voice that our daughters begin to imbibe when they look in the mirror.
What are you doing, Mom? Just making myself more beautiful. But you're already beautiful.
We women have been sold this idea that our worth comes from how we look, and we believe we almost owe it to the world to fit that ideal standard of beauty. Our daughters are growing up with this great insecurity that unless they look a certain way, unless they weigh a certain number, unless they dress up in a particular way and do their face in a particular way, they are not worthy. So the next time you tell your daughter that she's pretty or that she's skinny or that she looks amazing, I would invite you to pause.
What are you doing over there?
I just want to look beautiful.
You just want to look beautiful? You are beautiful. You're more than beautiful. You're more than cute. You are radiant, inside and out. You believe that, don't you?
You always look in the mirror and you seem so unhappy. Why can't you just love yourself the way you are?
When you are doing that, you are telling her that how she looks on the outside is more important than her presence. applaud them when they look pretty. And this is a really toxic message to pass on to our daughters. We need to stop focusing on how our children look, especially how our girls look, to how it is they present themselves in their being. How is it they show up for themselves? How is it that they use their voice? How is it that they stand up for their rights? How is it that they can be courageous out in the world? How is it that they can defy us because they are so proud of their own inner voice? That is what we need to teach our daughters. Not how they look on the outside, but how they are in their presence. If you agree with this, especially if you are a mother who has been herself plagued by an impossible standard of beauty, then spread this message so that we can teach our daughters differently, that who it is they are is not how it is they look.
All right, welcome. All right, so this 3 in 1 screen, somebody can even disappear in the process. Auntie Stella, what device are you using that you're shining like this? You need to send me the specs. Good evening, Linda. How are you?
Good evening. I'm fine. I'm
so
fine. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly. Crisp. We can hear you very clearly. All right. So let me turn to Auntie Stella tonight she's our big sister for tonight. She can give it to us hot. When you watch that video about passing on an impossible standard of beauty to girls, to our daughters, what came to your mind?
Well, what came to my mind was that, the way the girl child is raised in this part of the world. You can hear me, yeah?
Very well, crystal clear.
I wouldn't even say in this part of the world. The way the girl child is raised globally, we are raised as if our work is based on how we look on the outside, how slim we are, or how big we are, or how pretty we are. Nobody even talks about if a girl is intelligent or brilliant. In fact, when a girl is intelligent or brilliant, is even a problem.
Yes.
Especially for us here in Africa, they're like, what are you doing with all that book? You're going to end up in your husband's house. So that the video we watch now just validates a lot of things that we see happening around us, and is completely toxic and very unhealthy.
Yes,
it is completely toxic and very, very unhealthy.
All right, thank you so much, ma'am. And Stella is saying it's toxic, it's unhealthy, ridiculous that you're born a girl and people don't expect you to be smart. I saw a headline that said Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, although being a woman, has made it. I mean, somebody, a newspaper, Opera News, actually said, although being a woman, which is like saying it's unusual for you to expect brilliance from a woman. So I understand
that statement does not mean it's unusual. It means it's not expected for her to be anything.
Expected for her to be anything brilliant other than a relaxation pool for men. All right. So let me talk to Auntie Linda. So when you watch that video, what came to your mind?
The video didn't come to me as anything surprising. Actually, I wasn't surprised to see that, because the truth is, many people define outward beauty first before meeting you.
Yes.
They meet you by what they see. They do not want to meet you first as an individual. They want to meet you from what they see, how they perceive you. Somebody sizes you up and make up their mind on what they think you are or what they think you should be. Yes. Irrespective of what they think, we should do more. We should do more for our girl children. Like I kind of make use every opportunity as much as I can to insist on making my kids believe that they are beautiful. It does not take any external thing. Nothing. The kind of dressing, nothing else. An example was an issue with relaxing the hair for my kids. The women were kind of like, Madam, why not apply relaxer? the relaxer is a better option. I would like, I don't need it. My kids don't need it. They're too young for that. So somebody thinks that because they don't carry relaxed hair, they are not beautiful enough. But these are very beautiful kids. So it's not about outward, it's about the investment we make in our kids. So I as a parent, I'm this kind of overconfident kind of person, and I kind of pass it to the girls. I make them believe that you first, every other thing is a second.
Every other thing is secondary. Yes. You know, I had a personal experience. Yeah, okay.
The language.
All right, Linda, we're losing you there. Your network is breaking.
Let people come to meet. Yeah, go ahead.
Your network is breaking. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You know this third world internet, ba? All right, ma'am. This third world internet, and we're going to lay hands on it. All right. So I was going to say something that a few years ago I had an experience with my first daughter. All right. I had an experience with my first daughter where I had to call her and hold her dress and ask her, "Is this you?" I held her dress. She was talking about something, and it was about somebody being beautiful, and it was about their clothes. So I held up her dress and asked her, "Is this you?" She said, "No." I touched her body. "Is this you?" She said, "Yes." I said, "So you're not what you wear. Who you are is apart from anything external." And I want it to be driven home that you are not what you wear. Whether you're in a good mood or not, you are still who you are. In fact, there's a research that shows that compared to men, if a woman feels not beautiful on a particular day, even if she's called upon to take a $1 million opportunity, just because she doesn't feel beautiful that day, she'll walk away from it. Meanwhile, a man will go for it with palm slippers, dirty feet.
That's right.
Collect it first and go and clean up. But a woman wants to be perfect first. And this is one of the values we need to pass on to our children. That ridiculous standard of perfection ends with us. We will not pass it on to the next generation. All right. So that was just us responding to the video that we watched. We get into the heat. Auntie Stella, did you grow up in a home where there were boys and girls?
Yes, I'm the first child. 2 daughters and 3 sons.
Beautiful.
But
tell me the difference. The girls were the first. So tell me, if the girls were the first, I don't want to picture what the homestead was like. So I want to know, how was doing chores like growing up? Who were the people doing the kitchen chores and all the other chores?
Okay, incidentally, yeah, I want to say this, you know, the way we were raised, my parents did not, when it came to house chores and all, everybody was involved, including my dad. You know, so everybody was doing chores. Yeah, everybody was doing chores. On Saturdays, we took turns who would prepare breakfast. You know, and then the person who is preparing breakfast will not wash. The person who is washing will not be involved in cleaning upstairs and downstairs, you know. Everybody was involved. And then we had days of who would sweep the backyard and the front yard. You know, we were all involved. You know, so when I have a friend who incidentally is in the same church with me, and one time we were talking about gender, and she was saying that, if there's anything like another life, that should be a boy. I'm like, why? That because she was a girl, that she was always in the kitchen while her brothers were lounging in the parlor and watching TV, you know, and that in her next life she would be a guy, so that she would lounge in the parlor and watch TV. I'm like, well, it's the way you were raised. It's not your fault. It's not about being a boy or a girl. It's the way your parents raised you. Your mother kept you in the kitchen, pounding yam and preparing banga soup for your brothers who were lounging in the parlor. It has nothing to do with you. So don't wish to be a boy because of that. You know, because that kind of person, when she married, you see that her view is jaundiced. You know, she'll be raising her children based on how she was raised and how resentful she is. even way into her 40s.
Exactly.
You know, so it's unhealthy.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
So growing up,
Yes.
I was
yes, and you know one of the things. No, finish up.
Okay, I'm the first child, you know, and I think
I
that
can
gave
hear you,
me,
man.
yeah, I think that gave me some kind of leadership responsibilities, and it's been said that I can be very domineering, you know, and pushful, you know. So I didn't experience maybe because I have brothers. Maybe if we were all girls, it may have been different. But you know, from the way I was raised, it wasn't. I don't see. In fact, right now, I don't even see gender. I see a human being first before I decide whether you're a man or woman. You know, so when I tell people, I'm like, give me a level playing ground. Give me a level playing ground with the person you think is a man, and let us prove ourselves. You know, the only way, you know, I want to believe that a man is better, in parentheses, is in physical brute strength. Yes, because nature has imbued in a man to be strong physically. You know, but when it comes to mentally and intellectually, I want to think that we all have the same capacity.
Yes.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. But I was shocked there when you said that you're considered domineering. I've known you for a number of years. You never ever come through. You don't ever come across as domineering. So here is the
my face, and I am bossy. And I take it. I told her, man, I'm taking that as a compliment, man. You know me.
Boss is good. Boss is good. And so for people watching us, your bossy daughter is a leader. So don't use bossy as a derogatory statement. If you see a daughter that has those traits, because she's a natural leader. All right. So Linda, tell me, growing up, you two grew up in a mixed family where there were boys and there were girls. So tell me, were there any disparity in chores?
I didn't grow up in Jos, but I live in Jos right now. Yes, I grew up in a family of we eventually became 4 boys, 4 girls.
Okay, I mean with chores. I meant chores.
Now for the family, at the starting point, I am the second child. My brother came first, and 2 more boys afterwards. So, like I told you earlier, I didn't even realize I was female because in a game of hide and seek, I found them jumping windows, and I'll just jump and follow. You understand that kind of a thing? They do these games called cartwheel. I follow. You know, it was like that. In fact, an incident happened when I was a child.
Yes.
My brother's, one of my daddy's trucks, this pickup trucks, you know, whenever it came to the house to pick things, they would jump on it. And then while the thing is about to drive up, they flew out. I did it.
Yes.
And at the point of jumping out of the truck, I wanted to do exactly what I saw them doing. And unfortunately, I landed flat on the floor because it was like a game kind of home. There was no female or male. The role was kind of equally shared. So we didn't have, my brothers cook perfectly like every other person. You understand? We all cooked, we all did everything. And it's these are all life-saving skills.
Yes.
Right now, when people encounter me on the road, right? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. Let me just continue.
I can hear you.
We can hear you perfectly. This is Nigeria. We can hear you. We can hear you. Don't worry. This is my job.
Okay.
Yes. Don't worry about NEPA.
So
don't let them dull your shine.
Exactly. Okay. So the truth is, I never experienced anything called. I didn't know there was anything called gender-related thing because we competed equally. In fact, like Auntie Stella said, it was a competition in the house who was going to come first each time. And I was kind of a par with the boys. So I did not grow up thinking that there's anything called inequality between male and female because I competed at the same level with male. In fact, when you dare me, I give it to you there and then. I don't hold back, you know, giving it to anybody. I'm not the type that feel that because you're a particular gender, you stand a better chance at anything that I can do to the glory of God. So, like I was going to say, the other day, a customer of mine said he met me at a roundabout in Jos and wanted to overtake me. So I guess he was rude, and I kind of showed him what driving skills should be like. So when I came to the market, he was, Madam, so this is how you drive. I was like, do you know who you're talking to? He said, I did everything to catch up with you, and I didn't even see your back. I was like, you don't know who you're dealing with. In fact, don't try. I know you were rude. If you were not rude, you wouldn't have, I wouldn't have done what I did to you. And if you were rude on the road, I will show you what it means to kind of deal with people like you. So that's the kind of mindset every human being should have, you know. So we shouldn't kind of attach roles to people based on their gender. Roles should be equally spread out, especially on the home front. Why? Yes. Because if you do that, you give everybody this mindset that you're enough, you're equal, you're whole. So you're supposed to do this, do it. It shouldn't be, things should not be done because I'm female or male. Roles should not be given because you're female or male. In the house, I weeded, but the boys weeded. Every other thing we did as kids, not because you're female or male.
Fantastic. So I was an only child for 18 years. So I didn't have any brother to compete with. However, I grew up with my mom's siblings. And they were mostly men. My mom was the only daughter at the time. So they were mostly men, and they cooked. I saw them cook. I saw all of these things. So that brings me to the next question. Since we all grew up not being gender aware about the disparity, at what point did it hit you that there was a socialization that said girls were less? So I'll start with you, Linda. When did it hit you? What events made you realize that there were people who thought that having girls or being girls was less?
Okay, I
something
think,
that totally
yes. When that actually hit me was sometime in 2011, when a woman like me actually she saw my level of confidence with my two girls. Then I had two girls. She saw the way I carried myself about. You know, I'm an army wife, so we live in quarters in the barracks. So she expected that being a mother to just girls, I should be acting in a manner depicting that I was intimidated or kind of incomplete or inadequate. So, but she saw that I exuded confidence. I carried my girls around with a level of joy that she did not expect. She wanted me to look desperate. She wanted me to feel uncomfortable. She wanted me to be seeking help from any and everybody. Okay, one of the, wow, so as it is now, you have only girls, and you don't think there's something wrong. And I looked at her and said, why do you say that? Because even after those two kids, I've never felt that. I have kids. For me as an individual, I feel that they are humans. They are humans. Like I say, I always tell people, it's a miracle to be called a mother. The greatest miracle you should experience in life is to be called a mother. So why should I feel inadequate or incomplete? And I looked at her and said, Madam, I will shock you. You will look at these kids every day and wish you have girls. The way they will step out, you wish your own kid. So she was like, wow. I told her, you look at these kids and wish your own kids are girls. And to the glory of God, for every day they stepped out, she actually started wishing, because I gave it to her. You need to meet my kids. You wish you actually have them. You wish you're their mother. That's the truth.
Explosive.
That's
explosive.
You are.
All right. So your own realization is 2011. Somebody walks up to you and hopes that you carry the fact that you have daughters as a disadvantage and no boys. Interesting perspective. Interesting perspective. I'm going to share my own moment a little later. But the first time I knew that there was something wrong with that there was a perception about not just being mother of girls. about women, the expectation for you to be less, was after I got married. And I had this incident where someone was trying to talk about, was telling my husband that he had not stayed in touch much. And he was trying to talk about how we were both very busy, and apologizing. In between all of those pleasantries, the person turns to me and says, "You, what do you do?" And the person turns around to me and said, "You, what do you do? I mean, I can understand how busy he is. Are you not supposed to be?" I mean, this guy went on and on and on and on. He was an older person. So I just stood there and looked at him, and I said, "No problem." I said, "No problem at all." Well, since it is understandable when a man says he's busy, but when a woman says she's busy, it doesn't add up. I said, "Cool." So that was my first moment of realization. I grew up in the, I don't know what, the south part of Nigeria, and everybody was equal. You weren't aware that I've never heard that girls were picked over boys to go to school until I came to the north. So that was my first moment where someone was saying, whatever you say you do is not valid. All right, Auntie Stella, your turn.
All right.
You've been going all over your house. All right. Tell us.
Looking for where to charge my phone.
At what moment did it hit you that there was a thing about girls, about girl children, or being a woman? At what point did it hit you that even though you grew up not knowing about the stereotypes, at what moment did the stereotypes hit you in the face that, oh, there's such a thing as gender stereotypes?
It has always hit me right from when I was a child, yeah. Because I remember one time, the driver of one of our neighbors who lived in the boys' quarters way back when in Port Harcourt.
Yes.
So he was trying to, sexually assault one young girl, and the young girl was like, "I go tell my mama, I go tell my auntie." The man told her that if you like tell them, nobody go believe. Now you be girl, now you go shame. Do you understand?
Wow.
Now you be girl, now you go shame. And even though yes, we didn't grow up in a home where the boys did not do chores because they were boys, and girls did chores because they were girls. My parents and their generation, even up till now, they still talk in a way that shows that there are some things that are not meant for girls and some things are meant for boys.
Yes. Yes.
And then one time my mom was talking about how because my parents met after the war. My father went on to university. My mom was in Lagos also schooling, and my father had to be in Nsukka. So she had me first and had my sister. And then one time, after so many years, she made a comment that when she came home and had the first two girls, that she was sure that my father's people would have said, "Is the only girl this one want to come and born here?" But that she was happy when she had the next one, the next one a boy, then the twin, then the last one a boy. I was hurt because it showed me that a girl is not valued. And then growing up in Port Harcourt, and we used to travel to the village all the time, Christmas, Easter, long back. When people have children, when a woman puts to bed and they say, "Is he a boy or a girl?" They say it's a girl. Say, "Oh, we thank God, we thank God." But when they say, "Is he a boy again?" They say it's a boy. The rejoicing is like, I'm like, is it because this boy has a penis and the other one does not have? What is that? What makes him more important than the other person? So I've always known, it has always been with me right from when I could say I know something. Because it's our social system and it permeates the fiber of our social being. So it's always there, even though individual parents have different ways of raising their children, but it's always there. You even see parents who encourage their female children to do well, and their other family members will go like, "Okay, why now? I mean, all these plenty education, girl." That kind of thing. So it's always been there. It's always been there. But then because me, I even my children now, when they say that boy, you let him do it because he's a boy, I'm like, what makes you think you cannot do that?
What is that?
You can do it, and you should do it.
Yes. What is that? So quite frankly, I agree with you. There's always been that subtle thing here and there. In fact, when girls are choosing courses, In those days, they will tell you to choose nursing or teaching so that you can be there
My
for
father asked me to choose teaching because he was like, that you will marry now, then when you marry, so that you can close early and be taking care of the children. Like he now started naming some of his female colleagues, because my father was a teacher. He now started naming some of his female colleagues. Can't you see Mrs. So and so? She closes by 2, she goes home to be with the children, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, I know all that, but my own is girls should not be raised to think small of themselves. They should not be raised to think that they cannot do any. I tell my children, anything you want to do, put your mind to it, you will do it.
You can achieve it. You can achieve it. So I want to ask a question that is not on our list of questions, you know. Before I go ahead, let me share this story. Someone once told me that, oh, Irene, you have 2 girls. And for the part of the world at that time that your children come from, girls don't inherit jack. They don't inherit anything. So at the point I was talking, I didn't have anything worth inheriting at the time. So, so I just looked at the person and said, well, I'm not trying to raise children who are here to inherit. I'm trying to raise creators. I'm trying to raise creators. I'm trying to raise girls who build empires. So I'm not trying to raise children who will look for what did my father leave behind. And that has been my orientation from the beginning. Be a creator, build the life of your dreams, build the financial reality that you want. But let me ask this question that always knocks us off, which is where the biggest problem with the fathers who have girls or the families who have girls, where their problem is with the family name. Have you ever thought about the name what will happen to your family name as mothers of all girls? What will happen to your friggin' family name? Because I want us to answer this question, because that's the dialogue in many families that have all girls. That's the dialogue in their head. What will happen to your family name? I've thought about it, though. I'll tell my own last. Let's go. Linda, tell me, have you ever thought about your family name?
I've never thought of it until I started following you. It was after I started following you that you kind of hit that because my husband is from Cross River. Like you said, my husband is from Cross River. And there's not in Cross River, there's always, if you're sharing anything, the mother of the house must get her portion of inheritance. The daughters must get her portion of inheritance. So that's why my husband, I'm not feeling inadequate from my husband's side of the world. And my kids are not feeling, in fact, for every time I gave birth, my father-in-law will call me and say, thank you. He addresses by saying, thank you. That is, he appreciates this gift beyond, it's not the issue of whether or not this is human. It's thank you for giving us a child. Yes, they are that much appreciated. So they have never been fear of any sort. So I'm not surprised that people see me go about with that level of confidence, you know, because I'm not threatened. I don't feel threatened. Even if you're married out, your father will still call you home and give you a portion of your own inheritance. It's fantastic. So that is fantastic, not an issue. So I've never actually thought of the name until I started following you. So after I started following you, I now thought of it. I was like, this is nice. And you know, the surname Enya too is kind of is beautiful. It's a beautiful surname. And I had to actually drop my own name to pick it up because they welcomed me with 2 hands and they've treated me well. They've really taken care of me. I found home. So that's a name I would not want to actually lose. I would not want them to lose. In fact, I was talking. My best friend too is an all girls mother, and she and I were gisting about the program yesterday. So I now mentioned that what we do about this father's name. I said I'm following a woman. If the anchor of this program is saying we have to raise girls with hyphen names.
Hyphenated names to the last call. To the last call.
And name will retain. The father's name will retain.
Did they want to retain?
In love with it. Wow, that's nice.
Yes, so I'm an
She fell
advocate
in
for
love with
that.
the concept. She loved
Yes, yes. Hyphenated surname.
She loved.
100%.
She said, "Wow, that's a beautiful thing to do."
Yes. Auntie Stella.
So that's it for me. Until I started following you, I never did think of it. I did it.
Auntie Stella, I like the look on your face. I dropped my surname because my surname wasn't really a surname. My surname was not really a surname. It was, you know, you guys should know my story by now. My family just said, well, she's here. Keep this name, carry this name. So when I met Bangwell, it was sweet. But for my daughters, in fact, one of the things we're going to do to the next generation is for hyphenated surnames to be recognized, so that even men know that the woman matters. Auntie Stella, there's this look on your face that, man, I want to hear what is producing it.
Well, the thing about I want to, because of my background, my parents are very, my dad is a homeboy, my mom is a home girl, they're very home related, they're very home focused. So even as the way they raised us to be individuals, they still try to make us feel, realize all these social norms of the man doesn't have a son, his family will block, and all that and all that and all that. Right now, I have 3 girls. I've been married twice, and they're all girls, and their father's surname, dying or not dying, I don't care. I don't care. Do you understand?
Fire!
I'm looking at them.
I knew that tonight will be ballistic. I knew that tonight will be ballistic.
Particularly,
you don't give a hoot.
Right now, I'm raising my children as individuals. I tell them I see you first as a human being. First off, I know that yes, names are important and all that, it identifies with your lineage, and all that and all that. Now, who says that because you're a girl, you cannot do anything you like? I know that yes, as a girl, you marry and then begin to bear the surname of somebody else, and then you don't have a brother who will continue to have children to populate your father's homestead. In the final analysis,
when heaven and hell is
in the final analysis,
making it.
In the very final analysis, does that count? I don't know how to say this, but man, it's cute because everybody will want to let their name propagate, and all that. But then when you have all girls, are you going to throw away your children? Because, I see people, they have 5 girls. You see people, they have 11 children, 10 girls, 1 boy.
What were they looking for? You've touched Linda's spots there.
My boy, now, I was disappointed growing up in Port Harcourt as a teenager. When these whole Pentecostal church thing started.
Whoa!
And one particular pastor in one church in Port Harcourt, I'm not going to mention the name, very popular then. He had 7 children, 6 girls and a boy. Even as young as I was in GS2, GS3, I told myself, if I have to choose where to worship, I will not go to that man's church. Even as a teenager,
he was looking for a boy.
Very opinionated as far back as I can remember. I told myself, I didn't mention it to anybody, I'm saying it for the first time in my life. I said, if I'm going to leave the Anglican communion and go to worship in a Pentecostal church, that man's church is not a place I will go to. What is he teaching his congregation? That if you don't have a son, that you're not a human being. And he's putting people through this stress of having to have children, and they're like staircase, just like that. Every year, every freaking year, this one was having children.
At the expense of his wife's health. At the expense of his wife's health.
Expense of the woman's health.
At the expense of the woman's health. Because even the woman, in many cases, she's insecure. She thinks that she never born. Even her belief says she never
Even in
born.
university,
So
yeah, when I was in university, I had a roommate. In fact, she was courting me because I had accommodation issues. It was, if not that I was a strong-willed and opinionated person, I don't know, that woman would have just folded me like handkerchief and put in her pocket. Her madam level was too high. She would say, you can't make bed. Are you sure you can stay in your husband's house? You finish eating, put the plate under the bed. Are you sure you can stay in your husband's house? Everything was about husband's house. Then when she now got married, she had the first son, the second one, the third one a boy, the fourth one. Her husband wanted a boy. She had a girl. When he came to the hospital and saw that he was a girl. No, when she had the baby and then called, that was when GSM just came out newly and called and they told her it was a girl. This man did not come to see her in the hospital until he came to pick them, to take them home.
Because she had a girl.
Yes, this is a man that already has a son, no?
Yes.
So I'm like, I was now asking her, so why are you, so what are you going to do? I shut up telling her to leave the man, but I'm like, why you can't tell her to leave the man because of that? I'm like, so what are you going to do about it? Then some years later, when we were now talking, you know what she told me? This her son is her kitchen bench. That is why she's still in her husband's house. That's her son. So I'm like, your daughter's in fact, and that they will marry and go to their husband's house. And she was saying it in front of her daughters. I was in the kitchen with her. And I felt particularly sorry for all of them. All of them, including her husband. My sister, leave. We should all raise our children to be confident, whether they are boys or whether they are girls.
Not just confident, Stella, to be humane. Not just confident, to be humane. Because a boy can rise up and say, no, you shouldn't treat another human being like that.
Exactly.
Even boys. And many cases, this sense of entitlement by men is perpetuated by their mothers.
Exactly.
It is their mothers that perpetuate. Even us, I say it on in our Facebook group.
Exactly.
You have a sister-in-law that you believe that your sister-in-law should not do her masters. Yes. You believe that your sister-in-law should not travel for business. You perpetuate it and say your brother should take charge. Your brother should take charge. Your brother should take charge. Very sickening mindset. We need to raise a next generation that sees each other as human beings that God created, deserving of listening to, deserving of consideration.
Yes.
That's why I keep telling, when mothers are coming to me and say my daughter is into boys, I say, but you're the problem. You make their whole life about boys. Clean the house so that you will marry. Yes. Bathe well so that you marry. Rub powder so that you will be attractive. You've made the boys the goalpost of their life. So anytime they get a man's attention, it's as if they've achieved.
They have achieved.
And these are the things we need to change. This is where we need to change. Linda was telling me this morning about how you go to churches and pastors are prophesying that you're going to get a son. That God is saying he's going to give you a son. Why a son? Is it not God that is giving daughters?
Whoa.
Is it not God giving daughters?
Exactly.
When you give birth to a boy, everybody's going, What is Linda, Ivy Obundes, we have a comment here where someone is saying, my brother's wife comes from an all-girls family and she hyphenated her surname with my father's name. And I make it a point of duty to call her by the full name, even though the surnames are really long and heavy. Yes, now you give it to her because
yes.
For instance, let's just even talk like Abiola's children, right? Every time you see Hafsat's name, calm down. I don't know why they laugh. Calm down. When you see Hafsat, you say Hafsat, Abiola, Costello, whatever it is. If that Abiola no dey inside, you don't say that the son, that the daughter be that. So I can understand. What made me start thinking about it was really the sentiment in Africa that a father says, like my husband is passionate about raising his girls to be everything. He doesn't want to wake up one day and they ask him, where are your daughters? You know, say Brian and Sunkwam. And you know that feeling. He wants people to say and say, yeah, that's Kingsley's daughter by her surname. So I was shocked when he's the one that said they should. And my husband is a bit traditional. So when he said the girl should have hyphenated surname, so I was blown. I wanted to say you'd have given me the option now. You'd have given me the option of hyphenated surname, but it wouldn't have been of any use. So finally, I want to ask one more question and we want through this. Are you all enjoying this? If you're still here, Chini, I can see you. You're joining in from Enugu. Tell us if you're hearing us, you're enjoying the conversation, if you have any questions. All right. So let me ask you, what are 2 key things that you want to pass on to your girls? You've seen life as a woman. You've seen life as a woman. You've seen the limitations you've had. You've seen, like I always say, that in order for us to raise confident girls, we, their mothers, have to be confident. If you're raising an all-girls family, you have to make the girls feel that you have everything. When you make it look as if, oh, but I didn't have a boy, you miss it. You are socializing them again wrong. So we need to sort ourselves. But looking backward now, if you had to do life all over again, what are some 2 critical things you want your daughters to imbibe as they're growing up? 2 things you want to give to them as they're growing up. Let me start with you, Linda.
Okay, for me already, my kids are in no doubt that they are loved. There's nothing that makes them kind of feel that they are of any gender at all. We make effort as parents to arm them, equip them with life skills. Yes. Which I may not be. We've taken time to find out their areas of strength and their weaknesses. We are doing everything to strengthen their weaknesses and to shine forth their strength. You know. Yes. So coming from the point of view, because the love a child feels and the assurance of love makes the person go and conquer the world and come back. So if your child is assured that they are fully and you know, they are not in doubt in any way that they are loved, then the world is under their feet. Then secondly, this with overconfidence, not to the negative light, but to the positive light. The confidence of a human. My kids see me over and over again, act out confidence in everything. And you know, kids learn from what they see than what you tell them. Yes. As much as you preach it, you also live it. They've seen their mother showing forth that a woman can be anything. They've seen practical examples of what a woman can do. You know, sometime in 2015, my husband was promoted, and on impromptu, we were told to be in Bauchi unannounced the night before. And the following day in the morning, first thing, I bundled my children, put them in the car, and we drove off. We arrived Bauchi, did the decoration, and left same day back to Jos. You know, they are seeing that a woman is capable. We wanted to go to Kaduna for a purpose. I carried them, enter the car, we're on the road. We go carry out whatever it is, activity that takes us there, and we are back. Then we also have ensured that they are competing with their male counterparts. My kids are going to a mixed school for a particular reason. Let them not feel that, okay, they're only good enough in the midst of girls. My husband particularly made that a point, that they should compete with all their fellow gender, as in the male gender, so that they don't come out of the secondary school level feeling that, okay, I was only able to conquer girls. Maybe I may not be able to. So at every level, from primary school, secondary school, they are competing with boys, and they are doing amazing things. So all we need to do is to keep reminding them that, who come to me with that impression, oh, madam, you have only 3 girls. One walked into my home 2 months ago. Oh, madam, as she saw the pictures on the wall. Oh, madam, only 3 girls. I have something my husband and I did, and I conceived for this. I have this. You can talk to this person. I said, madam, I'm not ready. And she was shocked. I told her, I am human first. And if I'm human, I should be able to live my life at the level that I am comfortable to live this life and also enjoy it. I did not come to this world to keep popping children. If God has gifted me, if God has gifted me, in fact, I tell people that the Facebook Live I did last month, I said, how will you feel if you package a gift and give to somebody, And upon unwrapping the gift, the person looks at it and comes back to you and asks you why. That is what children are. When God gives you kids, it's a package, a wrapped package. As you unwrap it, you're supposed to appreciate, return thanks to the giver, and be grateful for receiving such a gift. So when you're grateful, you nurture the gift and present it to the world, to conquer the world. That's what I'm doing in my home. And that's
fantastic.
What I'm passing across to my kids. The gift I receive, I appreciate. I'm preparing and nurturing this gift so that this gift will shine for the light of God to the world. Thank you, everybody, for this opportunity.
That's a 10 over 10 girl there. That's a 10 over 10 mom raising 10 over 10 girls. She said something of significance. You're not here to just pop children, all right? And every time you keep doing that cycle of you're looking for a boy, you're looking for a boy, you're socializing your girls in a different way. Meanwhile, I don't know if you guys came across this research that came out last month, that 9 out of 10 couples that are trying to get artificial insemination, that's probably like assisted pregnancies like IVF, 9 out of 10 couples are looking for boys. Isn't that interesting? The one we no get where they find, still they find boy. See, they find boy because boy carry gold and diamond come, you understand? So our work is to raise our girls. Stella, I love your look, man. Our work is to raise our girls.
But sorry to cut in. The truth is, as females ourselves, as mothers and as kids to our parents, what the role you're playing in your father's house? I always ask women this question. The role I am playing in my father's house. In fact, my mother calls me the woman man because I play a very significant role in the family. If you feel that you're playing that role in your father's house, why do you think that until you have a boy, then the boy will actually represent your home? That is a dysfunctional mindset. In fact, we are supposed to know. Yes, we are supposed to know that you as female, as a woman, as a child to somebody, as a child to the parent, you're playing a very significant role in your father's house, even after you've left, so many years after you've left. And then you feel that until you have a male child, then you're complete. Then sorry for you. I'm just sorry for such a person.
We have an interesting comment. Thank you so much, Linda. We have an interesting comment in the comment thread. So Abby said, so she just decided to throw this conversation about hyphenated surnames to her mom. And her mom said that is for women who don't believe that their marriage will work. Our issues are deep. Do you get? Our issues are deep, all right? Our issues are deep. Tosin Keruwem, I'm so happy to see you, sis. Welcome, welcome. All right, so Auntie Stella, your turn. What are 2 things you're making sure that your girls are growing up with?
Well, I'm making sure that my children know that I love them, that apart from that I love them, that God loves them.
Yes.
That's what I want them to, because look at me every Sunday, come back from marriage time, so like, Mom, I work so hard, I'm proud of you. I want to be like you when I grow up. I want my children to know that work and that work, do honest work. Yes, I'm going to feel entitled. I hate that. I teach my children that you don't feel entitled. Because you have something does not mean that that's supposed to be. Nobody says that you will not have good things of life, but you will not feel entitled. Then I also want my children to know that I will do all I can to empower them spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and financially. A woman without her own money, forgive my French, is fucked up.
Excuse me, you don't use that kind of language on my show.
Sorry, ma. Auntie, no vex. A woman without her own money, I don't know. I don't know. You gotta have your own dough, man. It's not because you want to use it. Not because you want to use it to compete with anybody, but because the statistic says when you empower a woman, you empower a country.
Yes.
Do you understand? A woman must have all the wherewithal at her disposal, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. So that is what I want, right? Because I grew up seeing my mother working hard. When things are tough, she steps in. When my father decides to act up once in a while, you will not even know the difference because she just plugs the gap and does the provision of the. Do you understand? So I grew up seeing that a woman must be empowered in every way whatsoever, educationally, especially as well. Because my mother told the story that during the war, before the war started, she was in school. My father was doing, and incidentally, my mother comes from an all-girls family. When her mother, her mother died when she was still a child. When her mother died, her father remarried, and the new wife came and had all girls.
Wow.
You understand? So I've seen my mother was in school before the war. She said after the war, her father did not come back. And today she regrets it because she says if her father had come back after the war, that there is no level of education her father would not have given them. You know, but she was after the war, she was able to herself through nursing school and was, she has a semblance of education. Sure, she has education because after her school, she got a job with the government. After my father's schooling, she got a job with the federal government. They moved to the hospital. Then she got a job in the state government hospital and worked until they retired. So even the way my father talks about my mother's work ethic, he tells me that all through my mother worked, that she never played with my job, that she was a hardworking person, and I should not play with my work or whatever I do for you. So that's the value I want to provide to children. You get, and make them feel that nobody is better than them, unless they put that in their head that somebody is better than them.
Yes.
Do you understand? Because I know that, I will not blame my parents. I will not blame my parents because they are programs for their own upbringing. But there are things I see that are done in hindsight. I said, if only I'd known from 10, 15, 20 years, I wouldn't have done the things I did those times. So I don't want, and I tell myself it's never too late. So I'm trying to correct them now. Even now that I'm in my 40s, approaching my 50s. It's never too late. As long as you're alive, you can correct things. And put yourself in a position where you know your worth. You know your worth and you behave likewise.
Yes.
So that's the value I want to I want to shorten themselves because they're girls or because they think that anybody, whether boy or girl, is better than them.
No.
So
you know something? I have a testimonial. For Stella. In 2018, I needed an assistant in my office. I'm a very spontaneous person, so I needed someone to meet up the speed with which I worked. And so a young woman, 2018, yes, 2018 now, had just finished her WAEC. And she just finished her WAEC. So she came to intern in my office. Up till today, I'm yet to meet a young person of her age who works like her. When I send her a document to work on, and I give her a timeline to deliver it, an hour before the timeline elapses, the document is there. Today, Stella gave me the answer to why that child was like that, because that was her first daughter. The girl's work ethics for a 16-year-old, I couldn't imagine it. She's so cerebral. In fact, as she was going to the university, I told her, you need to find a way to be people's virtual assistant. My entire 4 books, she typed them, read them through, and then she'll be brainstorming with me about the ideas in those books. So Stella, I'm standing here to say on behalf of the world that you've done a fab job with that your first child. Sharon is brilliant. Linda, there was a lady I tagged when I said, my assistant is going to get to you. That's Stella's first daughter. girl can match me anywhere in the world. I really need her to go to university. If not, Afodon Lambano. Her work ethics is unlike a 16-year-old. And as Stella was talking to me right now, I understand what she means when she says, woman, do responsible work. You have actually passed on that legacy already. You have passed it on. I want to thank every one of you for coming out here tonight. We need to talk to our girls about the sense of entitlement, thinking that men should pick your bills, because I think that is the root mindset for a lot of vices. I mean, I saw a post the other day where a young man was telling his girlfriend that why didn't she clean up his room? And her response was that she's not his cook. And his response to her was, for crying out loud, I pick your bills. So you cook for me, you clean my house, and you have sex with me because I pick your bills. Me, I'm telling my daughters that by the time they turn 18, they must own enterprises. Let me see how they'll be asked to cook and clean.
Exactly.
Or how they would think that their body is a currency for trade. So we all need to sit down and think about the long run. These things that you say to your children when you're in the kitchen, always ask yourself, especially your daughters, what is this idea passing on to her? What is it making her believe about herself? How is it helping her see life? You keep talking to her about how your husband blew you away. Every time they're blowing you away, bought you this, took you to this. You don't tell her about creating. She's going to be out there looking for who will blow her away, even if he's slapping her, as long as he blows her away. So we need to introduce our girls to the concept of personal responsibility, where they have their own goals, financial goals, that they work towards it. If they find a partner along the line, which they should, because a girl who is responsible for herself, that people should not be with, nobody needs to advise her. She gets sense rich to say, this is who I should be with, this is who I shouldn't be with. And these things really matter. But from the first instance, as their mothers, we are the ones that point them to that reality. Let me close by sharing this short story. A few years ago, my daughter came back from school. Her civic education textbook had written, dads go to work, mom stay at home, cook and clean. And she came home and said, Mommy, is this even correct? I asked her back, is it correct? She said, no. I see you work. I said, that's what matters. So I want you to know that it doesn't matter what your children hear out there. What is happening in your home, what you're saying to her, what she's hearing you say even about yourself, is helping her design what to say about herself. That video we opened with talks about how mothers, you go to the mirror, you hold the belly fat, you complain about how you're not beautiful, you pass it on to your daughters without intending to. So one of the reasons why we're doing Raising Girls Weekly and Story Night especially is so that we can have this conversation, so that we can check what it is we are passing on to the next generation. So we're going to be drawing the curtain here. I want to thank you, Auntie Stella, for coming out. The Grammar Queen was in the building today. The Grammar Queen was in the building, blowing it. If she's in your inbox correcting your social media posts, don't take it personally. The thing, they worry her like that. She can't help herself because this is what she does for a living. That's why she's called the Grammar Queen. Her screen is frozen. If not, she don't give me one, right? And thank you so much, Linda. The moment you started speaking that day, I knew we had to have you. Thank you for coming to share from your heart. And keep talking about raising confident girls. Keep talking about it. Keep helping mothers, get a hang of it. Some of us did not start out hearing that we should be confident. So it's kind of, it's tricky passing it on to our children. So keep sharing. We'll have you more and more on the platform here. I want to thank you so much for coming out. Good night. And for everyone still here, I want to thank you for staying all the way till now. Auntie Stella, we love you. Thank you for coming out tonight. All right. Thank you so much, everyone that has hung in here with us the whole night. Just before I wrap up, I want to remind you that you can still sign up for One Parenting Plan Away with Vivian and I. All you need to do is DM me. Class opens on the 8th of December. So reach out to me. Let me know how we can make sure that you're part of this experience where we are working with parents to design their plan for the next year. All right. Okay. So make sure you DM me. It's very easy. There's almost 80% discount to be a part of One Parenting Plan Away experience. Also, we have our Black Friday sale currently going on right now. Look for the post in the group. Go on our Instagram handle. We have 35% discount going on our online store. You can take advantage of it, all right? So just before we go again, I'm going to put out that video of that mother.
How we as mothers
talking to her daughter about her body, all right? So that's how we're wrapping up. I want to thank everyone who stuck by us today. It's been an amazing.
How we as mothers talk to ourselves is the voice that our daughters begin to imbibe when they look in the mirror.
What are you doing, Mom? Just making myself more beautiful. But you're already beautiful.
We women have been sold this idea that our worth comes from how we look. And we believe we almost owe it to the world to fit that ideal standard of beauty. Our daughters are growing up with this great insecurity that unless they look a certain way, unless they weigh a certain number, unless they dress up in a particular way and do their face in a particular way, they are not worthy. So the next time you tell your daughter that she's pretty or that she's skinny or that she looks amazing, I would invite you to pause.
What are you doing over there?
I just want to look beautiful.
You just want to look beautiful. You are beautiful. You're more than beautiful. You're more than cute. You are radiant, inside and out. You believe that, don't you?
You always look in the mirror and you seem so unhappy. Why can't you just love yourself the way you are?
When you are doing that, you are telling her that how she looks on the outside is more important than her presence. Applaud them when they look pretty. And this is a really toxic message to pass on to our daughters. We need to stop focusing on how our children look, especially how our girls look, to how it is they present themselves in their being. How is it they show up for themselves? How is it that they use their voice? How is it that they stand up for their rights? How is it that they can be courageous out in the world? How is it that they can defy us because they are so proud of their own inner voice? That is what we need to teach our daughters. Not how they look on the outside, but how they are in their presence. If you agree with this, especially if you are a mother who has been herself plagued by an impossible standard of beauty, then spread this message so that we can teach our daughters differently, that who it is they are is not how it is they look.
All right, thank you so much. We're signing out right here. Thank you. Remember to stop by our Black Friday sales and make sure you sign up for One Parenting Plan Away so we can make 2021 the amazing year for your parenting experience, how we can take your parenting up notch so you have the best parenting results. All right. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. See you next week, Friday on Raising Girls Weekly. God bless you.